Gerald Jenkins is proud of his Cordova home he's lived in since 2016, making sure he keeps it in shape from the curb to the door.
Everybody wants a beautiful home.
But he wishes he could say the same about his homeowners association that is supposed to keep tabs to make sure properties don't become eyesores. He said it worked that way with his former HOA.
We had certain violations that, like basketball goals and trash cans had to be out of sight. Neighbors had to keep their yard mowed, keep the neighborhood looking nice. And that wasn't the case when I moved here.
He says he pointed out to the association case after case of neighbors' grass overgrown, even one house where for months trash bags have covered broken windows.
We're supposed to let them know of any violations and everything. But here, we had to do all the work for the HOA. And it says in their charter that, they will send a notice out of any violation, and you have 15 days to correct it.
Jenkins, so upset the association was not responding, stopped paying his $150 a year association dues.
I got the second bill is when I said, well, I'm not going to do this. They're not doing anything for me. What benefit am I getting out of this?
He stopped paying in 2017, though the bills kept coming.
I just would file them away. I wouldn't pay them. And I would call them and discuss concerns that I would have with them.
He racked up a $600 bill. Then came this summons, the association taking Jenkins to court.
They're not living up to their end of the bargain. Why should I live up to my end?
The association declined our request for an interview to talk about Mr. Jenkins' complaints and their job of keeping this neighborhood clean and problem-free. But HOA tugs of war are nothing new.
So it can get very contentious.
Attorney Charles Wyrick is with Ortel Kelly Law Firm that handles many HOA cases. He says problems come when expectations aren't met.
People who move into a homeowners association have certain expectations a lot of times about the way their neighbors will keep up their property and the amenities that will be available to them in the homeowners association. And when someone falls short of that, that can often lead to a little bit of, bad feelings.
Wyrick says it doesn't matter whether you sign to join the HOA or not.
Ordinarily, you're not going to sign anything. It's going to be in the master deed for that subdivision or that development, and that master deed will include the restrictions on the property. It may also grant the homeowners association the right to institute rules and regulations and have some control, such as over the color that you paint your house.
But he says there are certain expectations HOAs are expected to meet.
But a good manager in that situation is going to make sure that people live up to the expectations in that neighborhood, that they follow the rules and that they don't leave their trash cans out beyond a certain time of the day.
Tennessee State Representative Dwayne Thompson says HOAs in general do a good job, but he has also heard horror stories.
Honestly, there's not that many regulations governing HOAs. They pretty much can do what they want to do. They're collecting the money, but are they really providing the service?
It's why he is investigating what type of restrictions can be placed on HOAs at a state level.
My thoughts are we should just have some enforcement mechanism to make sure that all HOAs have at least a minimum standard of service they give to their residents.
But Attorney Wyrick says one big no-no, not paying dues to the association in protest.
That's a dangerous game to play because the homeowners association is typically granted the ability to take a lien against your property for the payment of those fees.
He says HOAs should discuss any problems with homeowners before taking action, and homeowners should review the association rules before they purchase their home, noting if mediation or arbitration are required before filing suit.
You certainly could file suit to try to force them to do what they're supposed to do under the Homeowners Association rules and guidelines. It's very expensive, though.
Right now, Gerald Jenkins says his case has been postponed, but he is not giving up. The odds may be against him, but he says the fight is worth it.
I'll take my chance and go to a judge and show him, my pictures and my evidence and hear my side. Maybe I'll get a fair hearing.
April Thompson, WREG News Channel 3.